Hey fellas, I just want to do kind of like a quickie on this, more of like a will it run. So this is an older Craftsman with a Tecumseh motor on it. I already took the top off. It's a little beat, little 4.5 horsepower Tecumseh motor. This was one of the cheaper Craftsmans of its day. It is old. I don't know, how old is it? It's got to be at least 20 years. I don't bother dating these. I don't care. Gas tank is really filthy. There was some fuel in it. Like I said, the handle still pulls. The blade was halfway decent. The tires are in halfway decent shape. We're missing the little black caps. I think I only have one, but who cares about that? Made in USA, right? So let's just get started on it. I noticed the gas tank is absolutely filthy. So I'm going to wash that out with some super clean and then a little bit of, well, you can use alcohol. I'll use gas. It's got alcohol in it. And then blow it out with the compressed air and we'll let it sit out. It's not really sunny today, but whatever heat. Then we'll pull the carburetor off and we'll do some tests on the engine just to make sure. So let's get started on it. I think that this thing will run if we just do the basics. Let's just take a look. See? All right, so this little springy guy goes up here. Let's pull this off. And the rod for it goes down here. Let me turn a little light on, might help a little bit. And then the top hole comes over here. And they have it set to the sort of the hole closest to the arm here and the governor. That's where they have it set to. I've seen it usually back here, but a lot of times you'll see a third hole, it'll be like a pyramid. But anyway, we just want to know that it's there. All right, I'm going to take the carburetor off. We'll take the muffler off too because it's nasty. I like to take the off from here. It's easier. It can be difficult to get in here, although on this one, it actually looks easier. But it's good because it's hard to get to this nut with everything in the way. And then we'll check it out and we'll see what happens. Aha! Well, that's good in a way. All right, hold on. Let's get this out of here. Well, that could be good because maybe it got in the motor and maybe it's salvaged the carburetor. In a sense, protected the carburetor. All right, let me clean this up. We'll go poke. So I cleaned up the cable and I made it work real good. We're going to tie it back, but I noticed that it's a little bent, so probably from getting stuck, we're going to bend it back a little bit. It's just I can see the bracket is pulling, and I like to put a little lubricant. I'll show you in a bit. So the cable's been cleaned, and I pull the cable through, the insert, disconnect it, and then you pull it through, wipe it down, lubricate it, a little grease. So that's our kill. That's nice. All right, so I tie it back with some Velcro. Feels nice. I can only get to this pivot. You can get to the pivot inside here, but you're going to have to shoot some stuff in there. So, speaking of shooting, let's put some of our two-stroke. You could use two-stroke or my tranny fluid additive. I'm just going to pull it around real quick. This is spinning around. It's going to puke a little bit. See? Yeah, let's put a rag or something there. See how it's getting ready to puke? Let me get my dirty rag. You dirty rag. Alright, that should do it. Yeah, she's puking good. Well, I'd rather see oil in there. It is a lot too. It's probably going to foul the plug. I did clean up a plug. And we're going to get a weird reading too. So I got a nice plug. I cleaned it up good. Like the spark to the bridge. Let me see. You may not see it, but I will. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're good. All right, so let's put this to the side. And yeah, we'll get a little bit of a false reading because there's a lot of oil in there. Let's see. So we have spark. Might want to just check these for tight. Everything else looks good. Let's see what we get. And I'll read it out. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's locking up a little bit because it's got oil in there. But I'm over 50. And in here, fellas, put some oil and everything in here, and then where the spring pocket is, pull it through a whole bunch of times. She's sticky. So I want to do that. I'll set up the blade, and then we'll be back, and I'll put the... Oh, look at all that. And then I can put the carburetor back on. Yeah, this way we get a chance to, you know, get all this splooge out. Oh, she's going to be a smoker. And I'll check the oil and see what kind of oil we have in here. Yeah, let's keep going. Well, that's not terrible, fellas. All right, let me close it up, and then we're going to wash it, because I didn't get back in here with the pressure washer, so we're going to have to hit that with a bit of solvent. And then I'll close this up first, and then we'll come back in with a cleaner solvent. All right, let's take a look at a few things. Now, I think I found a lot of gook inside, and I think some of that gook was actually the air filter, and it just deteriorated and it sucked it in. But even if the motor doesn't run, fellas, we got a nice clean carburetor. So a couple of tips. Now, this is the needle, and it's got this hook on it, and you can do a couple of neat things with it. So this is the idle jet, and you can make sure that this is cleaned out, that small hole. Okay, so you can do that. So put that down, and then now I have these guys. So the smallest one is about 28 thousandths or so, and you can clean out a lot of it from here. But if not, I've got, see, I actually drilled it out a little bit to 28 thousandths because of the oxidation. And I hit it with the wire brush. Just quick, and then I throw it in. I had to put it in lacquer thinner because it was really bad, and then I threw this in the idle jet in my acid, which is Alumabrite, and it's for welding, it's for cleaning aluminum and brass. And then here's this other little hole here, fellas. Don't forget about that guy, see? And you can poke it and clear it. Once again, they give you the tool. This I usually like to put a little bit of. Here, we'll put some more on now. But this is my 2-stroke mix, and I usually just put enough. But it's in beautiful shape. I think somebody was in here, by the way. And the reason why I say that is because although I cleaned this gasket off, I see evidence of red RTV, and it's split here. We're going to make another one if I don't have one. Red RTV is no good for, you got to use black, because red RTV is heat resistant but not fuel resistant. So it will just come apart, and your fix will fail. You have to get out the emulsion tube, which I did, and now these are the gaskets, the little O-rings on the side. They're kind of special. What I usually do is I take everything off, and then I roll these in my fingers with some of this stuff. You can use 2-stroke as well. That's half tranny fluid, half gas, and wipe off anything that comes off, and then I put it on, and then let them soak for a little bit. So I think that's it. I think we're clear. All right, here comes Mr. Friend. What are you doing, Mr. Doggy? I mean, he's coming to check to see. That's it. Bang into the camera, knock a few grand over. No, he's pretty good with that. Apollo. He doesn't care. Say hi. He's looking to see if he can get it tissues or food or, he doesn't know. What are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, he's done. He wanted to police the area and just say hi. So I'm going to put all this together, and then we're going to turn our attention to the engine. We're going to do a little diagnostic. But even if the engine doesn't work, like I said, this is awesome. So we're good there. There's your idle jet, and it had the little black cap on it. So if somebody replaced this, they either put the cap back on, or this was a replacement carb or original. Look, he's back. What are you looking for? He doesn't know. What do you want? What? I think he wants me to let him in. What? What's the matter? What do you want? Huh? What do you want? Yeah? You want me to let you in? Huh? Yeah? Alright, I gotta go let him in. What do you want? You want me to let you in? Huh? Yeah? He's like, let me in. Okay, I'll let you in before you knock everything over. That's pretty clean. Alright, I used a little bit of black RTV on that gasket and on this gasket. We're doing some other things right now. That I like to give these gaskets a little bit of time, especially when I want to set one like this. A little piece broke off. They're getting a little dry, but they'll work for us. Remember, this is a really cheap machine. We just want to see if it's going to run. So this looks good. All right, we're all ready to go. Let's go check the motor. I already started fooling around a little bit with it, so let's go see. All right. This is one of the blades that weren't as good as some of the others, so I always try to like prorate. I've come into a lot of these blades of this type. And make sure everything is clean, that the mounting surfaces are good. This thing's been balanced and sharpened and balanced. Let's get it down, and we're gonna put the carburetor on. All right, I'm gonna loosen up on that spring a little bit. Hold on. Oh, let's see if we can get to it. Where is it? It's here. So it's this spring in here. Remember this one here? So I'm gonna just move that over a little bit. I think a screwdriver would be better. Yeah, let me get a screwdriver in that. Just gonna chick it over that direction a little bit. All right, it's in the wrong hole. Remember I mentioned I thought it was in the wrong hole?
You always left me satisfied and smiling, so.
That's what she said.
We need to kind of get in there and fuss with that. Let's bring it back up, but she's running, okay? So if we can sort that out and get the throttle to behave itself, then I think we'll be okay. Let me see what I can do. There's a little bit of rainbow in it, but revving it up like that, I think I know what's wrong with it. I wanted to put some better oil in it before, well, we continue. Let me get that in and I'll show you what I think, and then we'll do a test. Yeah, it's pouring again. I should move the van, and this way I can get water in there. When do you guys want to go out and move it? So what I noticed was this screw was driven all the way in, and it would not allow the throttle to come back. See? So it would be, I don't know, like almost wide open. I also moved this back earlier, and I tested it, but I think I showed you, or maybe I didn't, I don't know. But it didn't change anything probably because it's all the way back. And this I stripped out, so we're going to put a helicoil on it. Let's test it again. All right, I gave it a quick start. It still seemed high. So before we get too hot, because it's going to get hot, I bent this back, and I'm going to move this rod to this hole. All right, and that should pull the throttle close a little bit more as the governor comes backwards. And let me just kind of take a peek in there and fool around with it a bit. Then I'm going to drill this out real quick. And I think it's 1/4-20, so we're going to fix that. Move the van. All right, all plugged up. That's back. A little lubricant. Why do they call it lubricant? It should be called lubricant. Let's see, I got to get this in here. She's almost at the size we need anyway. That's it. Basically to where it wants to be. Nice bottoming tap too. It's common. Fortunately, they usually break. The bolt head breaks in here. Of course, that's the problem. Put a little no-sees on these heads, thread heads. Watch your eyes, glasses. All right, just engage it. Drive it in. sure it goes in correctly. Yeah, it's nice and tight. Tweet.
We are both swingers, you see. You have a tight body. Yes, I see that from your tight pants. Yes, you are tight like a tiger.
Make sure it goes down all the way. Might have to drill a little bit more. No. I think we're going to get it. Yeah, that's good. And we probably don't have to... Come here, you! Why are you stuck? Maybe it doesn't get stuck. There we go. Well, I don't think we're going to need to... There's not much thread on that. You can put a little no-sees on it. Now, this might have been my fault because don't use the banger gun, right? I often say that. Like, I usually don't, but I think I did. And I probably ruined it. Most of the stuff you can't. You gotta use my little 1/4-inch drive for a lot of it because it just you can't they can't hit. It's old, and they're small 1/4-20s and whatever, and they're not going to cooperate with you. You're going to break stuff, and then of course if you don't have the stuff like I have, you know, to deal with it, right? Then what? Aren't we going in the right way? That doesn't feel right. Let's take that out. I checked it. Yeah, we're gonna have to clean the threads on this thing a little bit. Okay? They're a little borked. I'm gonna go run them on the wire wheel and we'll put this back together again. Yeah, she's getting this thread's a little bit borked. Clean this up and I'll be back. All right, fellas, quick timeout. Okay, so let me get my bearings straight. So I'm gonna pull the carburetor off, right? Well, I'm not gonna pull it off. I'm gonna pull the bowl down. And so what I'm looking at here is I'm gonna show you. I got some jets. These are factory jets. Okay, let's get to the B-roll. So these are factory jets, and the one with that I stabbed in a drill is. Its factory size is .026 or 71, I guess, in is that millimeters or something? I don't know, for you metric people. They're both basically the same. I cleaned them up. First, I put them in a little bit of lacquer thinner because they were gummy, and then I threw them in some of my acid. They're both basically the same, 026, but I think this one is a little bit tighter. I'm going to use that one. That's like factory, okay? The size that we wound up with, which is also kind of factory, is what, 038? Oh, 028 rather. Yeah, 028. And I've mentioned this before in other Carb videos that that's about as big as I would ever want to go here on Long Island at sea level, a couple of feet above sea level, which matters. Now, this carburetor is mint. Okay, especially now that it's all cleaned up. Look at it. Freaking mint, right? So why is it mint? So somebody's been in it. That's why I say we saw the remnants of RTV red, which is the wrong stuff. Gasket got a little damaged. And it's rare that I ever see them this clean after, well, this is old after that much time. And I think somebody replaced the carburetor. Now the problem, and they used it to Tecumseh carburetor. However, another reason why I try to always go with the original equipment and get, especially carburetors, and get them cleaned up and try them out, is because on, especially this is a 4.5 horsepower Tecumseh, it's the small one, and he probably just got like a carburetor for Tecumseh, and the average lawnmower, Toro, and some of the others that the Tecumseh motors were on, they're like 5.5 horsepower. So this carburetor. And I even went through something like this, by the way, on the Tecumseh 10 horsepower engine on the Green Tractor, the Green Rider. I put a smaller carburetor on, and things cleaned up a lot. You can get smaller carburetors, but they set up different. They may not have the primer on it or the choke on it the same way. There might be small differences. So trying to find that carburetor for that motor might have been hard, and he probably just found one it has a Tecumseh stamp on it, which is good. It's probably kind of expensive. So my neighbor noticed, even he interrupted me when we were running it. Now you may not hear it, but it's got a bit of a weird sort of staccato stumble and a bit of a miss. And you see me putting my finger over the intake of the carburetor, and it stalls. It does. The RPMs don't go up. It starts to stall right away, just by slightly. And I don't even have an air filter on it, right? So that's really going to change it. And so that tells me she's not lean. It's not a lean stumble, and I can smell it. It smells a little bit soft, like a little bit fuely, you know. So it's getting too much fuel. Now this may help or it may not. If the Venturi is too big, the signal won't be strong. And I could just leave it here, fellas. I could just walk away from it. It's a cheap lawnmower, and what am I going to get? 50, 60 bucks with a bag, maybe 60, 70. It's old, right? You can't expect much from it. But you may run into this problem, especially if you had to replace the carburetor. Now, I can't speak to aftermarket because I didn't put an aftermarket one on it, and I don't think I've used a HIPAA carburetor for a Tecumseh yet, and I want to do one at some point in the future. So here's where we are while I say timeout. Let's just let me just sneak one of these in. We'll bring it out for another test. Like I said, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm hearing it, I'm feeling it. You could run into this, and I think it'd be fun to just see if we can tune a little bit more, and it's good information for you fellas out there wanting to work on an older Tecumseh motor, especially one of these 4.5s. And like I said, the bigger 5.5 motor, they're usually on the bigger Toros, 22-inch blade, or some of the older Toros, right? This is different. So let's go try it out, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about briefly how to get you out of here after things all cleaned up. I also want to go and clean the bag for it, because I think I can fix the bag. It's really dirty and nasty, so let me go do that first, and I can leave it sit to dry or soak in some bleach or whatever and get it cleaned up. And I'll see you guys in a minute. Threw an air cleaner on too. Put a little more gas in it. Let it warm up. All right, quick tip, quick fix. Okay, just the threads come off and get loose, and then the plastic tears. These bags are made to kind of go on with these plastic snaps, right? For the most part, it's okay, but it's here that it's torn. And so I just, soldering gun, shove it right through, throw a bunch of tire wraps, right? Call it a day, keep moving on. And the bag itself is in pretty good shape. It's a little dirty and gross. I did clean it, put a little bleach on it and some, I gotta put this up on there too. It's got a little bit of, laundry detergent and bleach mix, pressure washer, but I didn't go crazy because it's a cheap machine, right? But the bag itself isn't bad, so it was something to go with the machine itself, and I think it'll make somebody very happy. All right, fellas, what do you guys think? I think this thing came out pretty good. Let's take a look at it, right? Just a little closer look. Not bad for an old machine. As I said, I forgot to look at the dating on it. I could, but I don't care. Right? Who cares? It's a nice, cheap machine. By the way, I do have a few others like this. They're out there in the garden. One is like this, I believe, and a couple of them are actually the nicer machines, a little bit longer, a little bit bigger. I think one of them is missing a front-wheel drive assembly. The other one is a push I traded for. We need to do motor work on it. It had a leak on the bottom shaft. The guy just kept putting oil in it. So we have some extra motors. I got some heavy-duty wheels for that body. Because it was leaking, the body is mint. So there's a number of those projects out there. And I think these machines, well, they're made a lot better than this. Well, this junk, right, that's out there today for $300, that ultimately will wind up pretty much looking like this. I just wanted to show you. See, these are the ones that crack. There and there. And that'll fold up like a pretzel. And I think I actually have a pic of one that did that Yeah, they don't last at all. At the end of the day, right, you can't get much for this. And I like to do these. I know that these videos aren't going to like make the channel or anything. And of course, selling these it's probably a little bit more work than I really should do to sell something so cheap. But I feel also like a privilege, and it's kind of an honor in a sense to kind of go through these things and be able to show them on YouTube because they're going to be gone. They're basically gone. This is all found in the dump. This is all discarded. I mean, people discard nice stuff, right? Go take a look at that one of the last ones I did with that beautiful husky that smoked. I can do a lot of them, or the one that a bunch of them that I haven't published yet. They're Toros that are really nice. They'll throw out anything. However, that said, and I speak mostly to the people that, in the community that I sell to, that I live in. And as much as I like to, be pesky about it and complain about it, on the other side of that, fellas, is that people buy these. And generally I get about $80 to $100-ish when they come out really nice with the bag, right? You could sell some of them now this time of year in the fall, a little earlier. They sell throughout the year. When people need something that's cheap with a bag, they definitely are a little bit better than the stuff that's out there. And there are some people here in my area that actually do buy these and appreciate them. So I think that's pretty cool. And like I said, it's kind of a nice position to be in, to be able to kind of go through this, show it on YouTube, and sell them. This isn't my mainstay. It's not my stock and trade, but it's nice to take a break and save some of this old tin from the scrap heap. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And we already covered the sort of tune up and everything on the carburetor and doing some tweaking. So I'm not going to repeat all of that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, because I definitely enjoy making these videos and working on these older machines and saving them from the scrap heap. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Arch's Garage. And I don't know, whatever project comes out next is whatever project comes out next. So I don't always plan everything. I'll see you guys later.